I wanted to get a clarification earlier. One of my colleagues asked you, have you seen anti-Muslim protests on campus?
I have seen, we have had pro-Israeli demonstrations on campus.
No.
But
just
not
a protest that was
not,
against Muslims.
No, I have
you
not
seen one against Arabs?
No, I have not.
Have you seen one against Palestinians?
No, I have not.
Have you seen one against Jewish people?
You already know how this goes. Every time the squad brings a university president into a hearing, they're hunting for the same thing, a moment that'll blow up on TikTok. They want to catch someone looking terrified and confused. They want to see them trip over their words. But today, Representative Ilhan Omar tried pulling that same move on Columbia University President Minouch Shafik. And honestly, she chose the wrong person to mess with. If you're curious what it looks like when political theater crashes straight into real leadership, you've got to see this clip. Did Omar score her big gotcha moment, or did she just witness a lesson in how to actually lead an Ivy League institution through tough times? Let's take a look.
Have you seen a protest saying we are against Jewish people?
No, I have seen.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. There has been a rise in targeting and harassment against anti-war protesters because it's been pro-war and anti-war protesters is what it seems like, correct?
Correct. There has been.
Okay, thank you. Activists on campus, including Jewish students, Black and Brown, Arab and Muslim students. How many of the organizations that were canceled in Columbia involved Jewish students?
One of the organizations is called Jewish Voices for Peace.
Yes, and encompassed of Jewish students?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. There was there's been a recent attack on the democratic rights of students across the country. I was appalled to learn that in April, Columbia suspended and evicted 6 students for their involvement in the pro-Palestinian panel event on campus. It happened that all 6 students were arbitrarily targeted after the university brought in a team of private and former police investigators. These investigators harassed, intimidated Palestinian students at their homes, demanding to see students' private text messages and sent threatening emails to the leaders of those pro-Palestinian groups. I would like to ask you to speak a little bit more to this situation and ask you if you guys have utilized private former police investigators before, or is this the first time?
So this was a very serious case. We had students who on an online
If you could
call,
shorten your answer, that would be really appreciated.
of course, who invited people who were inciting violence, and that is unacceptable. And so we needed to get to the bottom of it, and so that's why we brought private investigators along with notifying
How
the
secure
FBI.
were you these students that you evicted and suspended were involved? Did you do any investigation? Was there a hearing?
They refused to cooperate with the investigation, and so until they do so, they are suspended.
Okay, thank you. And then in January, there was an incident involving students that were protesting that were attacked with a toxic chemical substance, leaving many hospitalized. A lot of them did not receive support from the school administrators. Can you speak to what is happening with the investigation, if you all are cooperating, and why weren't the students provided any support after they've experienced that attack?
So this is still with the police, and as far as we know, we think it was an odorous substance, and we did reach out to all of those students who said they were affected. Many of them didn't want support. We also
It took you guys more than 4 days to reach out to students.
No, I don't believe that's correct.
Okay, will you
actually.
respond, give me a written response with the fact that you all responded right away to those students?
Yes, I would be happy to do that.
All right, appreciate that. And it looks like there's been a lot of doxing and harassment that has taken place. What protections are a student being provided?
We created a doxing resources group to support students. There were many students who were affected by this. Muslim students, Jewish students, and completely, other students. That group has, we had 90 students reach out to that group to get support in terms of both technical support, legal support, privacy scrubbing, and so on.
And before I run out of time, I wanted to ask what do your rules say about professors that harass students online, like Professor Shai Davidar has done, and professors who directly attack you as the president as a coward and a liar?
So, as president, I'm used to being attacked, but attacking our students is unacceptable. And in that case, we've had more than 50 complaints about that professor, and he is currently under investigation.
All right, welcome back. Wow. Can we just take a second to notice how differently these two showed up? You've got Representative Omar charging in intense, pointed, very deliberate with how she's framing everything. And then there's President Shafik, steady, composed, completely refusing to take the bait. If you've been paying attention to American politics, you recognize this move. It's classic squad strategy. Whether it's AOC, Rashida Tlaib, or Omar, the game plan is usually the same: back witnesses into a corner they've carefully built for them. But Shafik wasn't about to step into that trap. Right from the start, Omar tries mixing up anti-war protests with anti-Muslim protests. She asks, "Have you witnessed anti-Muslim protests?" Now, someone less confident might have panicked and said, "Oh yes, absolutely, hatred is everywhere," just to seem understanding. But Shafik doesn't play along. She draws a clear line between political expression and hateful speech. She responds, "No, what I've observed are pro-Israeli demonstrations." She's not letting Omar reshape what's actually taking place on campus. Essentially, she's saying, we can have political disagreements without you turning them into hate crimes. That's an important difference that often gets lost in Washington, but it really matters when you're talking about a college campus. Then we hit the part that's definitely going to set Twitter on fire. Omar acts shocked. She's acting horrified that Columbia brought in private investigators. She makes it sound like some dark surveillance thriller where innocent students are being hunted down. But let's look at what Shafik actually explained. These weren't students quietly hitting the books in the library. These were people accused of stirring up violence. This is where I think Shafik makes the strongest case for everyday Americans. If you've got people on your campus putting others at risk, breaking the rules, and refusing to work with normal investigations, what's a president supposed to do? Just ignore it? Of course not. You bring in professionals. You figure out who's responsible. You protect the other 30,000 students. Omar tries making accountability look like persecution. Shafik smartly flips it back to safety. If you violate the rules and put people in danger, you don't get to hide behind being anonymous. That's not persecution. That's maintaining order. And then the finale. This was the moment that sealed it for me. Omar mentions Professor Shai Davidai, an outspoken pro-Israel professor. She's clearly trying to paint Shafik as one-sided, suggesting, oh, so you punish the pro-Palestinian student, but you let the pro-Israel professor do whatever he wants. And how does Shafik respond? She doesn't make excuses for him. She doesn't dance around it. She simply delivers the facts. He's under investigation. We've received 50 complaints, and we're addressing them. You could literally see Omar lose her momentum. That's what real neutrality looks like. Shafik demonstrated she's not picking Team Israel or Team Palestine. She's on Team Columbia. She's enforcing the standards across the board, tenured professors included. Look, the squad knows how to create viral clips. They're excellent at bringing emotion. But managing a university isn't about emotion. It's about having solid policies. Minouch Shafik showed up today not as someone playing politics, but as a leader who genuinely understands her job. She didn't fall apart. She didn't apologize for protecting her campus. And she didn't let a congresswoman control the story. In a room packed with people demanding attention, the most powerful voice belonged to the person speaking calmly. Drop a comment below. Do you think bringing in private investigators crossed a line, or was it the right call to prevent violence?